Welcome back to round two of Deloitte Netball Super League 2026. This is the last match for today between
Welcome back
Team
to the
Swiss
final
and
game of the Deloitte Netball Super League.
let's welcome
For
the
today,
starting
we
seven
have
from Team Mannas,
Swiss versus
goal
Mannas.
shooter
In round
Tara
one,
Wilson,
Swiss triumphed with the
goal
score of
attack
51 to
Esther
36,
Morgan,
just 15 goals the
wing attack
difference. But
Jasmine
this time, the
Simon,
difference, round two, we have the
center
introduction of the
Manny
international
wing back
players.
Tiffany
We have
Hong, goal
Tandazeli
attack
for
Jasmine Hong,
Swiss,
goal
who
keeper
she
Felicity,
plays goal shooter, goal
and
attack,
one
and we
for
have
Team
Hanisha
Apparel.
for
This
Mannas
are
at goal
Jurong
shooter and
Christina,
goalkeeper.
Jessica
The MC is
Simon,
currently
Nisha
calling up the
Hong,
lineups for both
Secret
Mannas and
Chloe
Swiss.
Hong,
They're starting seven.
secretary Nadia
Mannas
Gordon,
opting
team
to keep
manager
the international
Olivia Lee.
player on the bench for
Let's
the opening
welcome the
quarter,
first seven from Team
while
Swiss,
Swiss
goal
has
shooter Tandazeli
placed their
Felicity,
international
goal
player at goal
attack
shooter for the
Esther
first quarter.
Morgan, wing
So it'll be
attack
interesting to
Jasmine
see
Hong,
how
center Jasmine
the
Hong,
coaches
wing
manage the
attack Sophia
requirements for the
Anand,
international
goal attack
players.
Faith Maria Lawrence, and
They will have a
goalkeeper Vivian
minimum of
Tan.
2 quarters of court
Diane
time and
Alcott,
maximum of
Diane
three
Ip, and
quarters per
Margaret
game.
Arena Tan, Seo Wei Ping, and Claudia Young. Head
Both
coach
teams
Daniel
coming off
Wilson.
from really
Team
good
manager
games
Claire Day,
in game
assistant
one of
team
round two
managers
last
Nurul
Sunday.
Hassan and Nur
Both will be
Sharifah.
looking to ride on
The
that
umpires for
momentum
the
into
match are Sylvia
today's
Lim and Jessica Ting, reserve
match.
umpire Ola Ho.
So both teams just shaking hands. A great show of sportsmanship in going to their final hurdle for instructions before the first whistle of the third game of today. So while Swiss had won the game in round one, in round two the points are reset, so both teams will be fighting hard for their placing towards the finals at the end of March. Both teams on court now, just waiting for the umpire to hand over the match ball and blow the whistle to start this game. Mannas with the first center pass. Straight away you can see the Swiss bench in action. All voices urging the team on defense. Confident feed from Yasmin off the circle edge. And Mannas with their first point of the game. Janice wing attack of Swiss firing back with her own long bomb. Confident play from both teams to kickstart the game. Swiss defense currently doing a good job just slowing the pace of Mannas. Faith with strong hands over, 2 hands to the ball on the jump. Awesome timing from her. You can see both teams are raring to go. High intensity from the get-go. And again, Janice immediately looking straight into the circle for a high ball. The Swiss attack will be looking to capitalize the height difference in the circle as early as possible. ETF a step around, sighting Claire under the post. Just unable to sink it by Casca with a strong rebound. Good timing from Tenderzelli. Just popping up for the front ball the moment she sighted both defenders sagging backwards. Good play from Swiss at the moment. Really running step for step with their player. And again, Yasmin, confident long ball straight under the post. Great feet from her. The idea was there, unfortunately execution just not up to scratch at the moment. Mannas with the turnover. Again, Swift's doing a really good job putting a lot of pressure in the center third, just crowding up the middle channel. Good hands from Akila, the wing defense of Swiss, unfortunately just stepping into the circle. So an offside call from the umpire. Circle defenders just doubling up on Claire, trying to keep her off the game. Unfortunately, it's a good placement from Yitie. Both teams confident on attack early in the game. Really nice to see. Good change from Yasmin. Sindhu had a look at it, but decided to protect the post. Sindhu just applying enough pressure on that pass, earning herself and her team a turnover. Nice triangle play from the Swiss attack, really controlled. What I really like about the international shooters coming to the NSL this year is the ability to hold both front and back. That creates a lot of variety and options for the mid-courts looking in. Good feed, unfortunately toes just going past the baseline. Good pressure from the circle defense from Swift, just pressing Claire onto the baseline early in the game. Both teams showcasing long feats. A quick tactical change from Mannas. We have Mickey moving back to go keeper and Cadence out to go defense. Hopefully putting in some experience against Tenderzelli could help to stem the flow into the circle. Swiss putting up a really nice zone defense, just pushing all the Mannas players out of the circle. Key out for the nice hand. Unfortunately, attackers just losing the ball for casual pass. The attackers game at the moment, ball moving really smoothly. Sindhu there to spoil the party. She's had a look at that pocket ball a couple of times now, and it's the first time she's made the move to come out with a successful intercept. Akila also wanting to get into the feeding game with a long pass of her own. Clear game plan from Swifts. Get the ball, turn around, look in and release. Akila again with the hand. Just a minute and a half to go towards the first super short period. Strong hold on the front from Kandazeli. Nice pass, give and go game between Sarah Lightfoot and Janice, catching their defenders on their back foot. Good hands from Cadence, just getting fingertips to it. A little hesitant from Sarah on that pass. Unfortunately, just spraying the ball out the sideline. Mannas really have to cut down on these simple errors if they want to close the score gap. So the siren has gone to signal the start of the super short period. Both teams will be looking to put in more goals on the scoreboard. Faith with really nice hands to the ball. So Sarah Lightfoot with the ball in the 2-point zone, and she slots in her first super shot of the game. So in last week's game, Swiss were more than happy to put up the super shots whenever they had the opportunity, and Mannas actually looked a lot more reluctant. So I wonder if they've had a chat about that and what would change in Mannas' super shot strategy for this game. So a clear plan here, the Swiss shooters proactively attacking the super short zone. Mannas with a quick change. We have Casca moving from goal attack to wing defense. Tiffany to goal defense and Jessica in at goal attack. Jessica just rolling herself into the super short zone. Unfortunately, unable to convert. Faith with the loose ball and immediately getting herself into the center court. Amazing transition from defense to attack from the team. A bit of a soft ball there from Janice. You could see she immediately knew what had happened. Really nice rotation from the Swiss defenders, shutting off the 2-point zone, forcing Mannas into the 1-pointers. Jessica again with another attempt, unfortunately unable to convert, and Swiss with the ball. Just 2 minutes in this quarter, 19-7 the score. Swiss was a really dominant first quarter. Good attempt from the Mannas attackers. However, unable to just collect it. Swiss still in possession. 1.5 more minutes to go. Good attempt from Zeli, unfortunately unable to convert. Nice pass and cut from Yasmin. Again, Jessica finding herself in the super short zone again for another attempt. Unfortunately unable to convert. Claire finishing it with a 1-pointer. Just 40 seconds to go in this in this quarter. Swiss will be looking to put in a couple more shots to widen the score gap, because we'll be looking to potentially start to see Hanisha come in for Mannas in the second quarter. Good strong hold from Claire under the post. Swiss just taking their time to pick up the ball to run down the clock. So this brings us to the end of the first quarter, 20-9. And with that move, Swiss will have the first center pass in the second quarter. Welcome back to the second quarter of the game between Swifts and Mannas. Swifts had a really dominant display of netball in the first quarter. However, still 45 minutes of netball to go. As an interesting substitution for Mannas, we have Hanisha coming on at goalkeeper against Tandazelli, potentially to just stop the flow of the ball into the circle. Mannas defense quick to come into action. A quick turnover for them. Claire with just a stepping call, unfortunately, Coach Killer. So it'll be interesting to see how the Swifts attackers react to seeing Hanisha in the goalkeeper position. Hanisha immediately getting into play, strong hands, quick feet. She seems raring to go, ready to get some balls off the Swifts attack. Just a bit of a placement issue with the center pass. Swifts the ball once again. So just one change for the Swifts attack. We have Claudia coming in at wing defense. Akila to the bench. An early tactical change for Mannas. We have Itian moving to wing attack and Yasmin to center. A change that we have seen quite often in this season of the Deloitte Netball Super League. Hanisha with a tip. She thought it was a ball. Celebrating, unfortunately, umpire deemed it a Swifts throw in. Tandazelli unfazed. Slots in goal number 23 for Swifts. Good hands from Claudia. You could see the Swifts mid-court defenders really trying to push the Mannas players into the pocket so that the circle defenders can come out for a hunt. Janice, still looking long, still being confident to swing the ball in. Just a bit of an underpass there, but her players able to pick it up. Another change for the Mannas team. We have Casca moving to goal attack and Tiffany back at wing defense. Smart from Faith, just moving her body into the running path of Itie. A soft pass from her co-midi. It's good thinking from Jasmine, unfortunately. Hanisha there to spoil the party. A quick held ball, hold from the umpire and Swifts back into possession. Hard contest from Tiffany from the back. A bit of a brain fart moment from Janice. Now that you do have Hanisha with height in the circle, placement and decision making of feats in the circle will be even more critical. You could see the hesitation in Casca when she was looking for the long option. Typically when we see such hesitation, it's when the ball flies out the baseline. Really good drive down the court from Faith. Ball seemed to be moving out, but she saved it. Good pressure from the Mannas defense. Unfortunately, just a foot into the goal threat from Mannas swing attack. Swifts keeps possession. Wow, a huge split from Tenderzelli. You can hear the spectators in the hall currently just really amazed by how strong that move was. Swiss defense clogging up that whole strip past the transverse line. A forced ball into the circle. Sindhu front space, two hands, and clean intercept from her. A nice roll off, unfortunately just stepping off court. A coach killer footwork call from on Hanisha. Mannas really needing the discipline to do the simple things right if they want to stay in this game. Hanisha again, long arms. Mannas with another change. Swifts also utilizing the time to make the change of their own. We have Jasmine to the bench and Arena in at center. Wholesale changes for Mannas. We have Claire moving to go attack, Hanisha to go shooter, Tiffany to goalkeeper, Mickey stays at goal defense, Yasmin to wing defense, and Keska to center. Pretty much a whole lineup change except for Itie at wing attack. Let's see how this works for them. Immediately Hanisha making an impact in the circle. But this again opens up the shooting circle of the Swifts attack end. Hanisha with what looked like a confident shot. Unfortunately, ball just rolling out. Good defense from the Mannas team. A free pass. Felt like she could have used her mid-courts outside instead. Good control from Janice, using the ball to stop herself from stepping on. Nice easy front space from Sarah. And a clean shot from her. Swift setting up a quick zone, but Yijie quick into the middle channel to offload. Hanisha and Claire using their height to get the ball into the circle. Again, decision making. There were two defenders on Hanisha. Claire was free outside. Hanisha with hands to the ball, keeping up her defensive effort from when she was the goalkeeper. Good placement of the ball onto the baseline where Claire was. While Mannas does have pockets of good play, they do need to keep it consistent if they want to stay competitive in this match. Tiffany, although she might be small, good timing from her. Four and a half minutes to go in this quarter. The super short period has started, and both teams will be trying to get themselves into that zone. So you can see Hanisha getting herself in the super short zone, trying to put some points onto the scoreboard for Mannas. However, unable to convert. Nice attempt from Yasmin. However, yet Swift still win possession. Strong take from Sarah, heavily contested by her direct opponent, Nikki Ng. Slots in the 2 points. 3 minutes to go. Score 33-14. Swiss really taking control of this game from the get-go. Mannas still struggling to build their connections on court. Both defenders out of play. Hanisha still attempting for the super shot. Unable to convert. Sindhu with the rebound and Swift's back on attack. Swift setting up a zone defense, clogging up the middle. Stepping call on Mickey, unfortunately, and Swift immediately back on attack. Tandazeli trying for that long 2-pointer. Unable to convert. Just a frenzy end towards the end of this second quarter. Both teams really need to regain control of their momentum. And finally, Hanisha with a successful super shot attempt. Currently, the Swiss attackers are going a little too lateral. Like to see them go back to what they did in the first quarter, short, sharp movements towards the ball. Smart play from Sarah, just tipping the ball back to her goal shooter. Hanisha again finding herself in the super short zone, really wanting to put up more points on the scoreboard for her team. Just unable to sink it at the moment. Swifts moving down the court really quickly. Just 10 more seconds to go in this second quarter. Smart from Arena, citing Candazelli under the post to put in the final goal of the quarter. This brings us to halftime, score 35-16 to Swifts. Welcome back to the third quarter, the final game of the day, Swiss versus Mannas. Both teams just doing their final hurdles before they get on court. A couple of changes for Swiss. We have Anne Margaret coming in at go attack, Jasmine back to center. Mickey immediately making an impact. Alva Sindhu quick to the ball. Strong take, heavily contested by Hanisha. Again, Mickey hands to the ball. Leading from the front. Co-captain of the Mannas team, her sixth NSL season. So Mannas is a fairly new team, many of them having their first NSL season. Dezelli using her long arms, reaching over Tiffany to get the tip. Just a bit of a placement. Again, Mickey, strong hands to the ball once again, really fighting hard to get shooting opportunities for her Mannas teammates. Clear easy front space, putting up the first goal of the quarter. Strong defensive start from Mannas, multiple tips from them, making it hard for the Swiss attackers. And they'll need to keep this up if they want to try and close the gap. It's a good attempt on the intercept from Janice. Quick hands from Hanisha. Decision making on the placement of the pass, failing Mannas at the moment. Quick hands from Jasmine to find Claudia in the center third. A long feed into the circle. Unfortunately, Tandazelli just going down on that ankle. She seems to be in a lot of distress. I hope it's nothing too serious. The umpire calling for the primary care on court to take a look. She has been doing really well in the games for Swift. Players just regrouping to have a quick check on their game strategy while the primary care takes a look at her ankle. Umpires calling for the bench players of Swifts to enter the court to help their teammate off onto the bench. Hopefully this won't be the last of Tandazelli that we will see for this season. And we're hoping for good news in the coming days. Swiss will need to quickly regroup themselves. Of course, with any injury core, it does impact the mental game. But this team has been together for a really long time, has a strong culture, so I'm confident that they will be able to stick to tasks. Sarah Lightfoot on at goal shooter in replacement. Mannas calling for another tactical change. A swap across all three mid-court positions. We have Casca at wing defense now, Izia back to center, and Yasmin at wing attack. Good hands from Sarah, just spoiling that play. Nice defense from Yitie. She knew that the ball was coming and just put her hands up. Pinpoint pass into Sarah. Strong contest from Faith, however, even stronger take from Hanisha. I love how she just swiped her hair past her shoulder as if it was nothing. Smart play from Janice. Pass and cut. Yitie managing to spoil the play, sneaking along the circle edge to disrupt play. This is a lineup that they're fairly comfortable with, a lineup that they use frequently in the first round of the Deloitte Netball Super League. So the Swifts attack do not seem too disrupted from that injury call. Doing a good job right now, Swifts unit. Taking up the space at the front, causing a lot of hesitation in the Mannas drives as well as their passes. And just like that, we have Faith coming out for the intercept, exactly what they wanted. Cross-court balls. A quick change for Swifts. I think we have a young player coming in, Ella Wong at wing attack, just 17 years of age in her very first Netball Super League season. Mannas just rushing that play. Tiffany stepping, trying her best to get the ball back. Unfortunately, just a bit ill-disciplined with the body contact. Good save from Anne Margaret, putting the ball right back into her co-shooter's hands. Nice three-phase play from Mannas, one of the cleanest that we have seen from them in the game so far. It was a nice pullback from Sarah. Ella choosing the pass to Anne Margaret for the longer shot, but of course she's one of the long-range shooting specialists for Swifts. Once again, the Swifts defenders just clogging up the front space. Umpire trying to call for the ball back for the correct setup. Wing defense on the contact. Yasmin with an easy pass and cut onto circle edge. And a quick pass into Hanisha. Claire with strong arms. Unfortunately, no one there to pick up the ball. Both Swiss mid-quarters able to hit circle edge easily at the moment. And again, Ella with a really nicely placed pass, just holding on to it to allow Sarah to attack the post. Nice start from her, coming onto the court. Claire just off balance, unable to find her teammates. What I really like about the Swift's attack is that they're immediately onto their next drive the moment they release. Sarah using her agility to find space under the post. Another change for Swifts. We have Cheyenne Lim coming on at center, replacing Jasmine. And a couple more changes for Mannas. We have Cadence coming in at goal defense. Tiffany out to goal defense, and Mickey to wing defense. So Mannas really tinkering with their lineup throughout the game, trying to find one that works best for them. But it's going to be hard to disrupt the strong connection between Anne Margaret and Sarah Lightfoot. They've played in NSL for quite a number of years now. Good contest from the back from Faith. Just a bit of a miscommunication there. Too fast, quick feet from Sarah. Sorry. And Margaret just unable to identify her free space. Nice pass and cut from Yasmin, treading the needle, finding Hanisha between two players. Really enjoying her attacking play here. Nice run space from Faith. It's a good switch from the circle defenders, just conning the space. That was actually the horn indicating the start of the super short period. Ella, really good feet into the circle. Confident, treading the needle through two defenders. Apologies, I think it's actually Hui Ping on court at wing attack. She's 21 years of age and also in her very first NSL season. Hanisha attempting the super shot for Mannas and sinking in. A tactical change for Swiss. We have Arena coming on at goal defense, Claudia to go. Sorry, Arena coming at wing defense, Claudia to goal defense, and Faith Lawrence earning a good break to the bench. Sarah turning her body inside out for that pass. Miki again. Strong contest on the ball. Loving her workload here. Another help ball on the Mannas team. You could see all Swift's defenders taking the inside, pushing the Mannas attackers on the outside. Sindhu trying to sneak her way onto the ball side. Unfortunately, on Fire just getting her back toward the sideline. Tiffany reading the game really well, catching Sarah standing still and coming out for the nice intercept. Sindhu, quick tip to the ball. Unfortunately, Cheyenne, too fast, finding herself in the goated. Offside call on her. Again, Mannas, just ball placement. It was a nice drive from Yasmin. Unfortunately, ball just being placed too high. Sarah with the 2-point goal. It's a good long drive from Yasmin, and Hanisha again trying to get herself into the super shot zone. This time it's Claire on a double shot, sorry, double jump from the Swifts defense. Hanisha really trying her best to keep the goals ticking for Mannas, and unfortunately unable to convert. Claire with the 1-pointer. Mannas with another tactical change. This time round, we see Claire to go shooter and Hanisha out to go attack. Good attempt from Tiffany. Just unable to pick up the balls at the moment. Sarah and Margaret opting to pass the ball to Sarah for an easy 1-pointer. Hanisha finding good space in the super short zone. Just unable to sink it at the moment. Sindhu, really nice front space. Just 15 seconds to go in this third quarter. Swiss will be wanting to put one more goal on the scoreboard. Claire just forgetting she's the goal shooter at the moment, going offside. And there we have it, the whistle to signal the end of the third quarter. A much more balanced game in this third quarter. We have Swiss 48, Mannas 26, and we will see you back in the final quarter. Welcome back to the final quarter of the game, Swiss versus Mannas. Swiss really dominant in the first 3 quarters, both on attack and defense. The Mannas team still trying to find their combinations and connections on court. Couple of changes for Swiss. We have Akila and Dean coming in at goalkeeper, Arena wing defense, and we have the shooters, Sarah and Margaret, just swapping their beeps. Really hard for from Mannas co-captain Mickey, but she's back on her feet. As bodies tire, players do have to be more careful. I believe that was a breaking call on Mannas, just really unnecessary. Nice placement from Hui Ping. Sarah with a huge lunge. Unable to convert. Cadence, really strong contest for the ball, earning herself a contact call. It's a great idea from Akila. Good. She did everything right, just unable to get fingertips to the ball. Again, just smooth play from the Swifts attack end, using their angles and drives really effectively. Hanisha cheeky, just using her height on center pass, and a long ball straight into Claire. So this time round, Swifts, Mannas is the team that's using the height difference, looking straight in and putting the long bombs. A help ball on Swifts. Mannas defense starting out well this quarter. Couple of disruptions from them. A nice placement from Yasmin, finding the backspace of Claire. That center pass take is just gonna be so hard to defend. Hanisha really strong in the air. I think she's actually enjoying herself out there at Go Attack. All smiles between Akila and Hanisha after that clash. Just such good understanding between Margaret and Sarah, knowing when they're both available for each other. Ball just entering the circle really efficiently for Mannas at the moment, fully utilizing their height in the circle. And again, just quick releases between the shooters of Swifts. Claire just unable to keep the ball on court. Mickey having a fly at it, unable to pick up the ball. Just 10 more minutes in this game. Swiss currently leading by 22 goals. More exciting games coming up tomorrow, 8th of March, Sunday at 11 AM. We have Fier Orcas versus Snickers. 1 PM we have Mannas versus Llabten, and at 3 PM we have Blaze versus Swifts. So do come down if you are in the west. The games are going on at the Jurong East Sports Hall. Otherwise, all 3 games will be live streamed. So do tune in to support the players. And Margaret shooting from the super short zone. That's her usual shooting range. Unfortunately, again, Hanisha caught for not being behind the line in the center pass. On the center pass, sorry. So just discipline really needed on getting the simple things right here from the Mannas team. Two players on Sarah, both attacking that ball. Claire winning the battle between herself and Akila at the moment. Nice holes and good placement from her teammates. Nice pick up from Tiffany. Mannas back down on attack. Good front space from Claudia. Just a bit of an underpass from the midcourt. And there's really not much you can do as a defender when the shooter has put up such a strong hold, and the placements from the midcourts are pinpoint. Akila just coming out for the hunt, unable to get her timing right. But she is known for her hands out the circle, so I'll be hoping to see a couple from her in the final 7 minutes of this game. Just 2 more minutes before we enter the final super short period of the game. Mannas having a really easy first face option on center pass at the moment, using Hanisha's height and agility, I must say. Oh. Just a really, really poor decision making in terms of contesting for the ball. Tiffany completely taking out Sarah Light's foot body. Umpire giving her a warning for that and telling her that she has to pull out of any late contests. Umpire pulling the contact call into the circle. Another change for the Swifts lineup. We have Janice entering the court once again at wing attack. Hui Ping moving into goal attack, and Sarah Lightfoot to the bench. Smart move from Coach Angeline with the scoreline as such. She's allowing her players some time on the bench to rest, especially when they have another game tomorrow. Hui Ping using her agility in the circle. Nice change of direction on the baseline. Nice triangle play from the Swifts attackers, keeping the ball flat. Nice change of angles. Ten more seconds to the final super short period. Will Mannas look to put in the first super shot of this quarter? Yasmin just not sighting Hanisha right in front of her. Claudia coming through for the intercept. Swiss moving swiftly down the court. And immediately you have Anne Margaret in their super short zone and slotting one in. Mannas actually doing a better job in this second half. Claire getting herself into the super short zone. A lift from Akila, spoiling that shot. The Swiss bench standing up. They're really happy with it. So if we look at the score breakdown for this game, Swiss really dominated in the first half, 29-15-7. But Mannas have actually managed to keep a smaller gap in this second half. Third quarter was 13-10. Fourth quarter currently just 4 goals down. Hopefully, they'll be able to quickly just break down what happens at the starting quarter to have a better start tomorrow. Akila Smart just coming off the circle, putting some doubt in Itia's mind. Mickey just sticking the circle edge, getting front space for the intercept, using her experience against the Swifts midcourt. Claire attempting a super shot, unable to convert. Instructions from the Mannas bench to stop forcing the 2-pointers and take the 1-pointers. Again, the goal difference does come into play in final standings when there is a draw on the table. So teams really do need to keep the points as high as possible throughout all their games. Hanisha slotting in a super shot. Last 2 minutes of this final game today. Game number 21 of the Deloitte Netball Super League. It's a really nice move from Hui Ping. Unfortunately, a short pass and Mannas back on attack. Both teams will be wanting to close off this game with a couple more plays down the court. Just misunderstanding between the two shooters, unable to build their connections. Fier really trying hard to get the ball back for her team. Mannas defenders really going hard on the bodies. We're down to our final minute in this last game of today. Again, more games to come over this weekend. Tomorrow will be another action-packed day. We have 11 a.m. Fier Orcas versus Snickers, 1 p.m. Mannas versus Llabten, and 3 p.m. Blaze versus Swifts. Nice contest from Mickey in the air. Final 15 seconds for the game. Swifts in possession. Will we see a buzzer beater from Hui Ping? And yes, we will. Cool, calm, composed from the youngsters, and that whistle indicates the end of the game. Swifts versus Mannas. Final score 69-41. A dominant display from Swifts. This is Kimberly, and we will see you tomorrow.